Okay, there we go. Bro, what a pog moment today. Bro, mad funny. I don't even know if I'm live. I don't even know if I can stream. Let me go to my channel. Let me even see if I am live. Bro. Hey, I am live, I think. Yeah, I am live. What's up, guys? What a mad funny moment. I'm just gonna add everyone. Hold on. At YouTube notification. There we go. Bro, this is fantastic. Hi, guys. Anyways, hi. So, fun fact for the title of this stream, I'm gonna get some music because it's pretty epic. Alright, so if y'all don't know the title of this stream, alright? Basically, I'm just a very simple thing. Basically, I was temp muted on Mineteria for literally stupidity. For absolute stupidity. Now, they're going through everything, and I'll quickly give a rundown on why I was temp muted for apparently disrespecting staff, bro. It's a mad funny moment, okay? So basically, good old Mineteria. So the staff there. So I was on there kind of just vibing, all right? And like a bunch of people were spamming. Bunch of staff members were spamming on there. Pretty interesting. So I'm like, stop spamming. Bad staff. Like, you know, stupid stuff. So everyone got like really triggered by it. I was just fooling around. So then they end up like temp muting me. They're trying to tell people to stop talking about me getting temp muted. Bro, it's a funny time. How's my day? My day's doing really great. I'm just tired of frankly, I'm not gonna swear, but tired of crap. So yeah, right now they're going through logs. It's pretty funny. So okay, so funny thing. All right, hold on. I gotta change my screen here. It's funny. It's really funny. Okay, so all right, so basically, you have my sister right here, right? These are the screenshots that are apparently the proof that I was disrespecting like staff. So first off, Abstract is spamming. So I said goodbye, Abstract the spammer. I just went off on Abstract. He was spamming. Ridiculous. Terrible staff member. I think that was to Chicken, or I don't know if it was Chicken or Abstract. One of them was disrespecting my FNAF series. And then, I'm sorry for speaking the truth. I hurt your feelings. And that's because Chicken was getting angry that I was saying stuff about her. So, like, overall, kind of ridiculous. Double standard for staff. And I'm just quite fed up with it. So, everyone's probably just gone on Mineteria at this point. Hashtag free Joshua. There's been multiple instances that there's been problems with Mineteria. They've been, unfortunately, censoring people when it comes to their staff members. Staff members are doing something, and they freaking, what do they do? They censor it. I've got a bunch of people, I'll switch back to game. They got a bunch of people who like 6 of them, that they either permanently muted or banned on the Discord, or even the Minecraft server itself. And it was pretty much about them voicing their opinions on about the staff. And first off, I'm already not about that. That's really ridiculous. If you really think that you can just censor people from what they're saying, absolutely crap. I don't exactly know what this is. I came on here to fool around. People were enjoying it. They were having a lot of fun. Staff needs to actually stop getting butthurt about it, because guess what? I don't own anything to Mineteria. I enjoy playing on the server, but I'm certainly not getting disrespected. About this whole thing that I'm disrespecting staff, it was all in a joke. People can't take jokes. I literally asked the winner, I said, where's the furry convention? That's all I said. Bro. I don't exactly know how that's supposed to be an offense. So, anyways, I'm just streaming until they decide to come to a decision. And I have a lot of stuff that Mineteria has been doing, and I have no problem letting people all know about it. So if Win or anyone on there that's on staff team is watching this, you have a couple minutes to figure out what you're gonna do before I start leaking a bunch of stuff, because we could go on about how many times that it's been taking days to ban certain individuals. I'm not gonna go into it. But banned one of my VAs because they said Hypixel was better. Instantly banned the guy for saying that Hypixel was better. This is what I'm saying. This is a double standard for absolutely everything. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm the one that's bringing players to the server, and because I was disrespecting staff, which that's their own opinion on, I get temporary muted for 2 hours. And a lot of people are saying, well, I know there's a lot of staff members saying it. I need my fan. It's hot in my room. There we go. If it sounds bad, I'm sorry. It's really hot in my room. A lot of staff members are saying it's just a two-hour ban. That's not really the point. The fact is that you muted me unfairly, and it's ridiculous. So I'm just going to wait until I get a response from Despawn. It's ridiculous. Call me pointing out flaws in staff as a little agreement. Yeah, there's flaws in staff that they are. It's ridiculous. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait, and I will certainly, for every minute that's not looked into the situation. For every minute that's not looked into the situation, I'm gonna start revealing stuff about Mineteria. That's where I'm at. I'm really done with it. Why are you streaming? So Despawn just DMs me saying, why are you streaming escalating the situation? Because I feel like it. Because I really feel like it. Because there's a lot of problems with Mineteria and it's not one to get fixed. Unfortunately, Despawn, I've kind of gotten tired of it. There's a lot of problems with Mineteria. People are getting censored because of it, and I'm all for the people. So I'll just wait. I'm not going to say anything if it's getting looked into. But I think people should know. I think people should know. It's ridiculous at this point. Let me play some music. It's nice. And yeah, I'm really tired of it. I'm tired. I see so many people that are getting censored for saying that there's something wrong with staff. They get banned, they get muted. That's ridiculous. There are some, now don't get me wrong, there's some good staff that are on this server, alright? There are good staff on this server. I'm not going to go to specific names. There are good people on the server, alright? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all of Mineteria is bad. I want some things fixed. That's where I'm at. People can't voice their opinions. It's ridiculous. And why stream? Because I damn felt like it. Because I damn felt like it. Let me get some music. Do I have a lo-fi? I don't even know if I have a lo-fi. Very well. Apparently we're gonna... Yeah, I saw Deducible. Thank you. So apparently Despawn's looking through all the logs, so we'll see it from there. And honestly, I don't care if I myself am muted. I get mad that people are getting banned and muted because they say something. That's my problem. And I think it's really ridiculous. I think that's... I'm trying to find some copyrighted lo-fi. Because if I try running it on YouTube, it's not going to work. I mean, screw it at this point. I'm probably not going to leave the stream up. 21 minutes. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to wait. Literally, people are saying, why was Joshua banned in the Mineteria chat? People are literally told either you stop talking about it or you get muted. That's honestly what some people are asking. Why was I muted? Why is that getting censored? So I'm just going to see. I'm just going to see. I mean, anyone want to ask any questions while I'm chilling here? Because I'm not going to I'm not dissing on specific people. Because I don't feel like that's right. But man, I'm just having fun. I'll be honest. I mean, if people think I'm mad, I'm not mad. I think it's funny. Hashtag promotion. Join the Discord, by the way. It's pretty epic. Favorite anime waifu. That's a tough one. There's a lot. Yeah, look, this is what I'm talking about. Soccer Devil saying, "Oh, I am so sorry, Joshua. We all love you." And this guy's saying, "Guys, it's 2 hours." So people don't have, like, they can't get upset about something. Hey, yo, Josh, I have a question, Doe. Do you got games on your phone? I've got one game, and it's Fire Emblem, it's a Fire Emblem Heroes. That's the only game, but I haven't played it that much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't you dare bring it up again. What is this? Stupid. Guys, I think I've been spending way too much time on my commentary channel at this point, because I don't give two craps about anything. That's what I'm saying, guys. It's only 2 hours. Like, it doesn't matter. People are wanting to know why. It's ridiculous. I want to say something rude. Wanting to drag me into the VC. I mean, despawn, join, oh, what is it? Just join a VC in Magnation, I'll drag you. I want to say something rude in case. Don't say anything rude. Doesn't help. Yeah, if despawn here's my stream, just join a VC. Alright, Joshua's office. And before we continue, how long have you wanted to do this? Found out a lot about... I know a lot of stuff. And I'm not happy with it. And I'm tired of people having to tiptoe around stuff or else they'll get banned. That's kind of where I am. Hey, yo, Despawn.
Hey.
How are you?
Pretty good, you?
Oh, I'm fun. I'm having a fun time.
Anyways, I want to not only talk about this, like, situation that happened just now, but what you're talking about, kind of like a systemic oppression of talking about issues on the staff team. First of all, like, the first thing I want to say is my staff are absolutely representatives of our business. Like, they're absolutely representatives of Mineteria Incorporated. But you should understand, as you know, have your own staff team and whatnot, that I'm around not 24/7. I'm around a lot. I'm on every single day. I'm on, you know, working on this thing 18 hours a day, you know, for the last 4 years. But my staff are trusted to handle situations. Winter is trusted to manage the staff team. Hubby is trusted to manage the staff team. Stone Pickaxe is trusted to manage the staff team. And we've created documents, staff punishment guides, and a whole bunch of guidelines for how our staff are supposed to run the team. And they're trained to do that. And sometimes the situations don't perfectly fit within the bounds of what is on, you know, these punishment guides and the certain situations that we tell staff, if this happens, then you're supposed to react this way. So then at that point, they're, you know, trusted to, you know, make their own judgments. And I'll be the first to say that they've been wrong on many accounts, most of which, when I found out, I've tried to correct. One such example is when your community member, Vio, got muted on our Discord yesterday, got perm-muted for a reason that I thought was unjust. When I found out about the situation, when he reached out to me, I was the first person, the very first person, to say that the mute was unjust and unmute him. And so saying that like our staff team is just systematically oppressing people because we oppose or they oppose our ideas is absolutely not the case. One of our rules that we punish severely for and that we try to enforce very closely is reducing the amount of like public uprisings or public scenes on the server. If people are coming into our Discord and coming into our server and inflating or perpetrating drama that we deem unnecessary, we're going to do whatever we need to do to de-escalate that situation at all costs. That's the first thing we do in order to solve a situation, is take it a step back a little bit. Stop the yelling, stop the screaming, stop one person from dragging in all their buddies and their friends and their fans to go roast the other side, and the other side doing exactly the same. The first thing that we want to do is de-escalate the situation.
Thanks for subbing.
And that's, I wasn't here tonight. I've been driving home from Los Angeles for the last 2 hours. I just got home just as the situation was ending about 25 minutes ago now. And I've had a couple minutes to look through the logs and figure out exactly what happened. You're right, in DMs, you didn't call any staff member an idiot. And I'm not exactly, I don't exactly want to like, read out, specific excerpts from the logs and just sit here reading out logs for the next 30 minutes. I more so want to just address what you were talking about on the stream, which is that you don't care if, you were muted for hours. You just don't want to see people getting muted for pointing out flaws. I get that. I'm literally, if anybody follows my Twitter and knows my political beliefs or my societal beliefs, I'm a huge believer in speak your mind, freedom. Like that's me. I'm that guy. And so the last thing I want to be doing is shutting people down because of their beliefs and pointing out issues. We're hugely open to criticism. At the same time, a lot of the people that you're hearing that are being shut down for expressing their beliefs are not just expressing their beliefs. They're not going into the channel and saying this staff are bad. These are people that have, and this isn't Vile, by the way. Vile is unmuted. I'm not talking about Vile when I'm talking about the situation. These are people, the collective that you speak of, are people which for the most part have a huge history of inciting uprisings based on misinformation in the community, have pages and pages of punishment history for mute evasion and hacking on the server and disrespecting staff and countless other violations of the punishment guide. Countless. I mean, like Killer Hamsters was one that was perma-muted for talking about this stuff. He has 30 pages of punishments on Mineteria. He's been punished on the server over 50 times. And so these are people which, for the most part, how obsessed I am with keeping our community as active as possible, keeping people on the server, keeping people engaged. That's what's going to help us grow. That's what's going to help us make new content and take the server to the next level. So the last thing I want to do is punish someone or mute someone when they don't deserve it. But these are people, this collective that you're talking about, and again, this isn't Vile. These are people that have been punished more times than I can count for the same reasons over and over that we've tried to, and I have actually, me personally, Despawn, I have defended somebody like Killer Hamsters for really, I don't even know why anymore. I've defended him just because he's a good member of the community. Like, I like him. He's in my streams. He's, for the most part, a cool guy. But I've defended him because my mentality is, gosh, if I just give him one more chance, maybe he won't break the rules again. If I just give him one more chance, maybe he won't break the rules again. And time after time, people just, they keep taking that chance. They keep seeing how far can I push the staff before they, mute me for public scenes, or before they mute me for this, or before they mute me for that. And all of a sudden, we've started to get this backlash where we're starting to get people coming at us for punishing people that have broken our rules and know about our rules and have continuously broken them since like early 2019. And so we're just at a point to where it's just, there's so much misinformation being spread about these individuals that are being muted that there's some like holy god that just did nothing wrong and they're just being oppressed by the Mineteria staff, that it's putting a bad name on us and what I stand for. And I guess tonight was kind of the, where that kind of broke the chain.
Okay, so give me the reasoning behind why I was muted.
Why you were muted?
Why I was
Uh,
muted.
So I obviously wasn't there
Yeah, I know that.
for the situation, but I did have some time to review the logs. And I guess the reason why, and by the way, by making this statement, I just want to make it clear, because I'm not done reviewing the logs and I haven't personally come to a conclusion. I will make this clear to you and everybody on the stream that what I'm about to say is not my personal judgment on the situation. I'm not saying that you should have been muted because of this. I'm just telling you why, in my opinion, based, viewing the logs based on what I see, why I think the staff muted you. So this is based on what I see, why I think the staff muted you. And based on what I see, why I think the staff muted you, this argument looks like it lasted from what? 56. So this was since like 6:30. So yeah, this has been almost 2 hours. And from what I can see, the reason why you were muted is because of your interaction with Abstract, and continuously here towards the end, I can't relate being bad staff. Pubby and he said Pubby and somebody else are the only good staff, calling some of the other staff furries. From what I can see, that is the reason why you were muted, to answer your question.
All right, so give me the rundown. When a staff member is spamming the exact same thing over and over again, and I say that's a bad staff member, that's not me attacking an individual over that. The entire time, I was not starting an argument. I'm not exactly sure why people say I was starting an argument, because it's kind of ridiculous to think so. Because first off, I've been on the server for how long? So I'm not exactly sure why people were saying that. I was incredibly chill the entire time. I was just vibing. Really don't appreciate that people were spamming chat that were part of staff. So I said that was a bad staff. That's exactly what I said. And I never called names. I said the most I said was bad staff. That's all I said. In fact, if you look earlier in the logs, I actually said Pubby was Chill. I said Vectrix was a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, you did. And
so
I confirmed in the logs that you didn't call a staff member an idiot. You are correct. You did not call a staff member an idiot. I'm saying that you asked why you were muted, and I'm saying this isn't me saying that you should have been muted for this, but based on what I see, the reason why the staff chose to mute you was because they considered your comments about being bad staff and calling the staff members furries, etc., they considered that breaking the staff disrespect rule, and that's why they muted you. I'm not saying I'm defending them, but I'm saying that's based on what I can see, that is why they muted you.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what else. The most I said to Abstract is that like besides the spamming, I called him Limburger Cheese. I don't exactly know why that's apparently
that's fooling around. That's fooling.
But people were apparently taking it as an insult when I was literally just calling. Let me just bring up Limburger Cheese for the audience. All right, so Limburger Cheese. Let's look at Limburger Cheese. All right, Limburger Cheese is not only delicious, but it is wholly nutritional in its most part. So I'm not exactly sure how this correlates into a disrespecting an Abstract. All right, so that's as much as I said. I said Limburger Cheese. And the reason I said terrible staff to Abstract is he was also disrespecting my FNAF series. So I mean, once you get to that point,
I actually didn't even see that point. Where was that, at the beginning or the end?
It would be towards the end.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I've mainly reviewed the.
Here, I'll show a screenshot real quick. I'll put it on stream. Give me 2 seconds. So, because I think people know me enough that I would not just try to start things for absolutely no reason, because there's no reason to. But if you look at the stream, basically the screenshot says, I said bro. I don't have the first part of it because it was going too fast. And I said, are you dissing my FNAF series? Abstract says, yes, flame emoji.
Wait,
You said,
where's the screenshot?
I'm in here. I'll send it to your DMs. There you go.
Hold on, Discord's loading.
Bum, 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 bum.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm scrolling down the logs. There's just this conversation.
Yeah,
Is so
yeah.
huge. Yeah, I see the screenshot. I mean, I guess the one thing that I wish would have happened is staff checking with me before doing this, but that's nothing that can be can be changed now.
Unfortunately,
But
like I've said this multiple times, I don't start things just to start things. I was just kidding around. I'm not sure why I was taken as a personal offense against people. What I can say is that regardless if it's a player or staff, I will say something if someone's spamming, because it's ridiculous.
right.
And that's what I said. I'm trying to think of what else I said. I can bring it up. I don't have everything for the stream, but I was talking about the economy. That was the other thing I was talking about. Not like real life economy. All right, I was talking about Mineteria economy, and I said something like there is no middle class. That's what I've said. I'm not exactly sure why that's an offense.
Oh yeah, I saw the eat the middle class thing. I think it was.
Yeah, I literally said "vor the poor and eat the rich." I'm not exactly sure how that's an offense, but
I mean, it's not necessarily offensive. I mean, it could be seen as somewhat political, but it's
even though I
not
specifically said Mineteria.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not like if I saw that, I wouldn't see that as offensive. But this log is just so huge.
Get muted for saying "vor." I'm gonna put up a picture of the Chad known as Bungler the Troll. There we go. There you go, guys.
Bro, can I stop getting 7 million people messaging me? Guys, I have the logs right in front of me. But I mean, yeah, just to address the spamming situation, and I'll say this on stream to you and with everyone else here, just to address the spamming situation, I'll be the first to say that, like, I'll put myself on the line here. I tell Winter, and I tell Stone Pickaxe, and I tell Pubby, push the notion of engagement and irregularity at all costs. Those are the two words. Those are like my two golden words that I push forward to the staff, and I'll explain why I do this. Mineteria, as I've explained to you many times in private, is in a financial situation with developing Mineteria Life and all this other content to where we haven't produced a significant content update, as in we haven't added a significant piece of new content. You know, we've added a new Bed Wars map, and we've added a new Murder Mystery map, we've added a housing feature, but we haven't added like a new game mode or anything really, really significant in close to a year now, right? And we haven't added a new game mode in close to a year now because we're investing all of our financial resources in the development of this new game mode. And so to compensate for that, we have launched an aggressive internal project to take advantage of our current resources to the greatest extent possible. What that means is the event team, as you've probably seen in community events, we do ats all the time. We do 2 werewolves a week. We do movie nights. We do karaoke nights. We do PvP events. We do last man standing events. We spam events, right? The build team. Build team is another huge part of it. That doesn't require development power. So the build team is pumping out new minigame maps. They're helping out with events. The staff team, they're a huge part of it. Every single day when Winter comes on, her number one priority isn't, yo, let's see what new staff we should promote, this and that. Their only priority is alert games, doing games and alert, like trivia and things like that, to keep the community engaged, giving away prizes, talking with players in the chat, keeping the community tightly knit. It's all about irregularity and engagement. That's why we modify the hub basically every single day. We want to get people excited about coming on and seeing what's changed in the lobby. It's something easy that we can do that doesn't require development resources, that is stimulating for a Minecraft player, for the Minecraft player and the demographic that we attract. It is stimulating for them to be able to come on and see something new every single day, having a close, tightly knit community, talking in chat, having fun games and alert, just craziness, blowing up the ceiling in the hub, all sorts of chaos, making them feel like there's something new, there's something exciting every single time they come on. And I've made it very clear to the admins that they, as staff members that I've trusted and have gone through the rankings, Winter was a helper, she got all the way up to admin, Stone was a helper, he got all the way up to admin, and Pubby was a helper, and he got all the way up to admin. None of these guys are brought in from the outside. All three of these people are people that I trust dearly, and that have worked their way up the rankings based on that trust. And these are people that know why the rules are a thing. For example, we have a rule that says no cursing. I will be the first to admit that I have cursed more than a couple times in public chat. However, I know why the no cursing rule is a rule. It is not a rule to prevent 3-year-old Johnny from seeing the word fuck. I hope we don't have 3-year-olds playing on our server. That is not why it's a rule. The no cursing rule is an overlapping umbrella rule to prevent players from being vulgar towards one another. And so I will admit that I have said curse words in chat many, many times, but I know when it's appropriate to use them. I know that it's, not necessarily appropriate to, say, "The Story Painter, go suck a fucking dick." I hope I can curse on the stream, by the way. I know that that's not appropriate. But if I say, "Holy fuck, I just died in Bed Wars," that's not vulgarness being directed towards somebody. So I know when it's appropriate to use it and when not to use it. Likewise, the admins also know when they can get away with spamming an alert a couple times and when they're just being fucking annoying or stupid or being immature. And I know how that situation can be viewed. I know that it can be viewed as a double standard. I know that it can be viewed as, wasn't that the definition of a dictatorship and the dictator doesn't follow his own rules? I get it. Trust me, I get it. I'm a political nerd. Trust me, I know all about it. I see where you're coming from. I get it. The reason why I've allowed them to do it and why I continue to allow them to bend the rules a little bit, why I allow them to bend the rules a little bit, is, again, to push this notion of community engagement and irregularity above everything else. Because those are the things, those two principles are the things, I'm sorry, I'm speaking fast, that are going to allow us to get to the point where we can release Mineteria life and have an active and a live community to enjoy it. Keeping players interested and engaged in the server. When we don't put out a content update for 9 months, we don't have very many options on how to do that. That's why we do that. Do you get where I'm coming from there?
I understand the admins doing it. I want to know why there's a specific individual that's literally just spamming his name every 5 minutes. Like, the world actually cares that their name's getting spammed 5 minutes every time, multiple times, fire emoji everywhere, when they're the exact same people that are saying don't spam. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, and I don't think I've gotten to that point in the logs, but I like it on in that respect I agree with you. Sorry, I was trying to find the words there. In that respect I agree with you. I have told the staff and the admins that they are allowed and able to bend the rules if it is helping this notion of engagement and irregularity. I have not told them that you are above the law, call people fucking stupid idiot fuckheads, and no one's going to be there to punish you. So on that respect, I agree with you. And like I said, I haven't gotten to that point in the logs, but I do understand what you're saying there, and yeah, like I said at the beginning of this discussion, the staff I'm not around 24/7. The staff are kind of left to do their own thing. And their responsibility is just to kind of interpret the situation to the best of their ability. And like your staff, and I'm not wanting to use this as an excuse, but like your staff, Remember that our whole team, for the most part, this is their first time doing this. This is their first rodeo. And number two, they're kids. And again, I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm not, out here saying that's the reason why, they're doing the things that they're doing. Yeah, you got to remember those as well.
So, if you're looking for experienced people to be on your staff team, why exactly are there 13-year-olds that are in a position of authority in order to protect the server? I guess that's just my question. I mean, it's an honest question, because in full honesty, they are children, but they're in a position of responsibility and authority. If they are not able to meet those requirements, I guess, why are they still allowed?
Right. And just to respond to that, we do technically have an age threshold on the staff team. It's 15. However, that has been bypassed, circumvented, removed on a case-by-case basis a number of times, because we've had individuals that have applied, that are active, that are caring, and above all else, to address what you said right there, are mature. We've had 13-year-old staff members, 13, 14-year-old staff members that are more mature than 18, 19-year-old staff members. It literally has happened, and I'm sure you, running a decently sized community, you've had some, 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are less mature than 12 or 13-year-olds. And so it's literally just a case of, these are the people that are active in the community. These are the people that are putting themselves out there, that are willing to help. They're willing to help us achieve our goals. And they've passed our initial scrutinization of maturity. They've passed our initial test of maturity. We throw them in. And again, they're helpers at first. They're, think of a helper, some servers call it trial mods. Some servers call it helpers. But this is the first the first entry-level trial position. A lot of our helpers never make it past helper. They resign because it's too hard. They're demoted because they're not doing enough because it's too hard.
Why do they say it's too hard?
They say it's too hard because it's demanding, right? The staff are responsible, like I said, for upholding this notion of engagement and irregularity. And so when they're, taking tours and trying to de-escalate a situation of 50 kids flaming each other in public chat, and we don't want them to lose us players by just muting everyone, because I'm sure you could agree that would be bad. To a lot of 13-year-olds, that's overwhelming. And that's why we see a lot of helpers never make it past helper, because they can't handle that intensity of people flaming each other back and forth and figuring out how to manage and de-escalate these situations. They're young. This is their first rodeo. They've never done something like this before. And so that's why a lot of these staff members don't make it past helper. And that's why we have, lots of mods, senior mods, admins to come in and fill the gap where they can.
I guess the question, how long are people required to stay on, for staff, how long are people required to stay on the server? As a helper and a mod, how long are they required to be on the server per day?
Totally subjective. They should, if they're a helper, they should be interested in helping the server, right? We've made it clear in an abundance of staff meetings, all of the last 5 staff meetings has been our main point, that helpers can help the server in a million different ways. They can help run events. They can do tours. They can catch hackers. They can, help our relations with creators if they know other YouTubers. You know what I mean? They can figure out on their own accord. It's it's a volunteer position, right? So they can figure out what they want to do to help us. And in our subjective opinion, if we feel like they're being honest about it and they're really here to help and they're living up to their role, helper, then they're going to stay as helper. There are helpers on our team that have been on Mineteria less than 3 hours this week, and that we have no plans to demote, because they're filling in their place elsewhere. They're making, either they have, something going on in real life and they can't be on, or they're filling in their place elsewhere. There's, we have a whole bunch of different members on our team that have varying levels of activity. You know, I'm on all day, every single day. Winter's on all day, every single day. You know, Pubby is not on all day, every single day. He has like 3 jobs in real life. But Pubby manages our social media. He gets all the screenshots for our Instagram. He helps me in other ways. And so just because Winter is online way more than him doesn't mean I'm favoring Winter over him. You get what I mean? And so to answer your question specifically and concretely, there's no specific requirement for how long a staff member needs to be online. They just need to live up honestly. They need to be honest about themselves and live up to the name helper. That's it.
Uh-huh. So, I guess one of the, like, we've kind of discussed about, like, the whole, the muting everything, and how I've said that I want to make sure that people are not getting, like, what they're saying removed. One of my problems, like, just now, alright, and this can be totally subjective for whoever looks at it, but people are asking for a genuine questioning why I was muted. The response back from the staff is, well, stop talking about it. People keep asking, and there's literally a threat of either mute or ban.
Wait,
I mean,
threaten to mute or ban for what?
For asking why I was temp muted.
For asking, so somebody asked why you were temp muted, and they were threatened with a mute or ban. Yeah, I mean, I'll go on and say I don't necessarily agree with that. Why do I think they did it? I think they did it because they were aggressively trying to de-escalate the situation. But I'm more on the side of what you're saying, which is that if somebody's just asking why somebody was temp muted, that absolutely doesn't deserve to be responded with a threat of further punishment. So I would say that I'm totally on your side on that one. But also, you have to remember that although I am an active, vehement supporter of free speech, you also have to remember that this is a private business, and we have every right, just as you do in your Discord, to silence people that are unnecessarily perpetuating misinformation, right? So if somebody comes in your Discord, hold on, let me just say this. So if somebody comes in your Discord and says, and just makes up something that we obviously know isn't true, right? They say Joshua's a racist, randomly. They get all their friends in the Discord, they say Joshua's a racist, which we know isn't true, right? I know this isn't true, you know this isn't true, it's made up, it's not true, right? You have every right as the owner of the Discord to, although this person is speaking freely, you have every right to silence this person because they're unnecessarily inciting nastiness, right? They're unnecessarily perpetuating misinformation. And so that's the same thing our staff team does. If somebody comes into the Discord and is saying, unmute killer hamsters, hashtag, free hamsters, hamsters did nothing wrong, despawn's a communist, fuck you. You know what I mean? If somebody comes into the Discord saying that and they're getting all their friends to say, despawn's a communist, screw this dictatorship, unmute killer hamsters, hashtag stand for hamster. That's the kind of stuff that we have every right to shut down because it's just misinformation. It's just inciting drama and like I said, perpetuating nastiness for no reason. You get that, right?
I would say yes and no. Because
okay. What's the no?
So the no I would say is that you're using a very how do I put this? You're using a very big thing. For example, if someone is to come to my server call me a racist, then makes sense to ban that person.
Right.
But I guess it comes down to who decides what is misinformation and what is not. So if I honestly had a standout critique about Mineteria, who determines that that's misinformation or if that's a free speech? I guess that's the question I want kind of answered.
Who determines it? Well, again, and I know basically what you're saying is that the racist example is too extreme, but I'll turn right back to that example for a moment. In the racist example, if you shut this guy down because this is misinformation, or one of your staff shuts this guy, one of your staff that's very close friends with you, say Evan or Pookie or Rocket or I don't know all your staff members, but let's say one of your staff members shut this guy down because They know you're not a racist. I know you're not a racist. You know you're not a racist. But they shut this guy down. Well, they're Team Josh show. Like, what the heck? Free speech. You know what I mean? Like, how is it not the same thing?
How is it not the same thing? So you're taking the accusation that someone is racist. But say that I don't agree, that I think staff is incredibly biased for what they do. Is that a demeaning remark, or is that a critique?
I think just saying staff are biased, I think that's a critique. I'm with you. I think that's a critique. But I think the second, in my example, I think the second user, Poopman624 comes in the Discord and says, Killer Hamsters did nothing wrong. What the hell? Despawned, doesn't like him because he's a dictator, and this and that, and starts making targeted accusations with facts that are not facts, that are grounded in nothing. I think that's where it starts becoming, like you said, demeanor and perpetuating nastiness and just and spreading misinformation.
Well, I certainly agree if it's like coming out of nowhere type deal. But say that there is a majority of people, like there's a lot of people that are saying, well, there are some major problems with Minetaria's staff. So is that considered a critique, or is that considered a false misinformation?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem. If somebody came in the hub right now, and I'm genuinely, and I know it sounds like I'm just saying this for the stream, but genuinely, let's rewind 3 hours, none of this ever happened. If somebody came in the hub and said, Mineteria staff are biased, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, on God, the first thing I would do is I would type their name, comma, why. I would genuinely want to pick their brain. I would want to figure out why they think the staff are biased. I wouldn't mute them. I wouldn't threaten to ban them. I wouldn't roast them. I wouldn't do anything. I would ask them why. But if that person, and again, same scenario, rewind 3 hours, none of this happened. If that person came into the hub and immediately said, fuck you, Despawn, you bullshit dictator. You punish people for no fucking reason. Fuck you. Then I would, okay, fine, take out the curse words, because then I could punish them for cursing. But take out the curse words, screw you, there we go. Then I would mute that person. Because then at that point, they're, like I said, they're clearly just coming here to cause issues. They're clearly just coming in here to be derogatory and to spread nastiness. And that's what we saw in the Discord with all, I believe it was 4 people that were muted. All 4 of those people were doing that second example, not the first example.
Okay, so let's take you yourself out of the equation for a moment, because you're saying this is how you would handle the situation. So let me use a very real example. All right. So if I was to use the example that I'm in, say I'm in Mineteria, and I ask the question of, honestly, this was a joke, where's the furry convention winter? How is that handled? Is it handled as a joke? Is it handled as an immediate type of attack? Because it's not so much the problem with you yourself. The problem that I'm having is with specific people in staff that are making these claims. So are they really following the same protocol, or are they making quick decisions about a certain thing? And is that what's happening? Because we could go all day about what something meant or not, because in full honesty, anytime I say something like what I was saying in lobby, that would never be a full-out attack on someone, because I don't attack people. So I'm being as a joke. Who defined it as an immediate attack on the staff team? Because, like, my question is that, was this an admin decision, or was this a premature decision by a helper saying that, well, they're attacking me? I guess that's what I'm asking.
So I have a twofold response to that. The first thing you asked me is to take myself out of the equation and ask how they would handle it. Obviously, I'm me. I can't do that. I can only tell you how I would handle that situation. Mm-hmm. Staff disrespect is one of those things, Josh, that is inherently subjective, right? Although we put in our staff punishment guide, an example of staff disrespect is Billy saying to, staff member, you are a bad staff member. Screw you, I hate you. Although we can write that as an example, what is considered staff disrespect is always going to be subjective, right? Because people can disrespect staff in many, many different ways. So what is considered staff disrespect is always subjective. Now, to go to your example of the furry thing, no, I wouldn't consider that staff disrespect. If you went on and you looked at my little furry penguin skin that I have on right now and said, yo, where's the furry convention? Do you spawn, you're a furry? I wouldn't consider that staff disrespect. I would consider that a harmless joke, and I would continue on my day. And by the way, that's what I think the rest of the staff team should do. Without a doubt, that's what I think the rest of the staff team should do. Now, if that same person continued to follow me around the hub, constantly call me a furry, be like, yo, go to the why are you a staff member? Bad staff, you belong at the furry convention. And they kept, and I'm not saying you did this, by the way. I'm not saying that at all. This is make-believe scenario.
Yeah.
If they continued to follow this staff member around, constantly call them a furry, tell them you don't belong as a staff, you should be at the furry convention, then I might now consider it staff disrespect.
Okay, so let's take another example that happened. So if I call at Mr. Abstract, if I call him Limburger Cheese, is that a disrespect or is that a joke?
I see that as a joke.
So why was it taken as an attack?
I have to continue reviewing the full logs, but I think that the reason that they issued the punishment was not so much because of the cheese thing, but it was more because of the bad staff thing. I think that's the case, and I literally, dude, I haven't talked to them. I have not been in a VC with my staff since I got home. I've only reviewed the logs and been in this call with you. I can't say for sure, but I think the reason why you were muted was not because of Limburger cheese, but it was because you said, and I quote, one moment,
because I said bad stuff. Yeah, I already know what I said.
You said terrible staff member, the abstract. I think that's why, because you said terrible staff member and you said bad staff. I think that is the reason why they issued the mute, not the Limburger cheese thing.
See,
can't be sure, but I think that is the reason.
See, I guess the problem is that when people jump to a lot of conclusions about something, it ends up into a mess. And as someone who, unfortunately, I've kind of come to this whole statement about absolutely everything in my life is that I'm not required to be in a certain place. So, again, this whole defining what's criticism, what's not, is incredibly grade with the staff team. And again, I'm not saying every staff member is bad. So if anyone's thinking I'm saying all staff is bad, that's not the case. Because there's some very good staff members that are on there. I guess my two main problems are I'm not going to mention any names of Feathery Fowl and Mr. Fire Emoji. They are incredibly disrespectful to not only myself but to other people that are with me, and I think that's honestly quite ridiculous. And so, I mean, if we're playing this whole fair's fair thing, if I'm going to get temp muted for 2 hours, I guess where's the temp mute for someone that's saying, yeah, your FNAF series, it's bad? Or where's the temp mute for, saying that some other mean stuff? I don't remember exactly because it was earlier today. So I'm just kind of following the agreement. I'll take the 2 hour mute, but I guess where's the 2 hour mute for everyone else?
Well, so first of all, if I was here in that situation, I just want to say that you would not have gotten the 2 hour mute because I would have immediately jumped in a call with you. I would have immediately jumped in the call with my staff members, and I would have been like, whoa, let's take a step back, let's figure this out, guys. That's what would have happened if I was here. Like I said, I've yet to speak with my staff members and even hear their whole take on this, so I'm probably going to do that after this. But I totally, if our staff members were disrespecting your series and disrespecting your work as a YouTuber, I 100% agree that's not acceptable, and so I agree with you there. I'm not gonna disagree with you.
Okay, so another great area that I kind of want to clarify, because a lot of people are rather confused about this. So if someone says, say in a Mineteria VC, or if they say in people don't usually say it in the Discord chat, but say if they're in a Discord VC and they say, go play on Hypixel, is that considered a joke, a criticism, or an attack?
That's considered advertising. That's not staff disrespect. That doesn't fall under that rule. Mention of other server names are advertising, especially if they try and direct players to another server. So yeah, that is something that we almost never consider a joke. That's breaking the advertising rule. That has nothing to do with staff disrespect, nothing to do with an attack, nothing to do with any of that.
So why is it considered advertising?
Because they're mentioning another server name and telling players to go there.
Okay, so if I went into a Hypixel VC, because I did have a server, and I said go play on Mineteria, is that considered advertising?
Yes.
Okay, so...
And I think well, actually, no, I don't think. I think if you look at Hypixel's rules, they say you are not allowed to mention names or addresses of other servers, for that very reason, that they don't allow advertising on their platform.
So, I guess my question is that if I went into a VC and I said I'm gonna go play on Hypixel, is that advertisement?
That is against their rules. Yeah, that falls under advertising. You're mentioning another server name and you're saying something that would reasonably invite or encourage players to go to another server that you mentioned. Like that, Hypixel punishes for that as well, Josh.
Okay.
Like they might not have a staff there. Like if you go do it right now, I mean, they might not have staff there to do it, but that is 100% against the rules.
So if I would, okay, so here's my problem is that if I'm saying I'm gonna go play on Hypixel, so say if I'm playing Mineteria for 30 minutes, and I said I'm gonna go play on Hypixel, that's apparently advertising. I'm not telling people the IP. I'm not telling people anything like that. I'm not saying get off of Mineteria and go play Hypixel. If I'm saying I want to go play Hypixel, that is accordingly advertisement. Because I cannot mention the name.
It's a little bit different because you're a YouTuber. If you just said it on your stream, that's your platform, that's your deal. But yeah, if somebody says that on our Mineteria chat, if somebody says, I'm going to go play on Hypixel, yeah, we and Hypixel both consider that advertising.
Okay. Neat, I suppose.
If that's in our infrastructure, though, right? So if you said that on our stream, I'm sorry, not on our stream, on your stream, that's your platform, that's your deal. We can't control that. We don't want to control that. That's your thing. That's your thing. We're not gonna do anything about that. But if somebody says that in our chat or on our Discord, that falls under the advertising rule. And like I said, so does it on many other servers. I don't want to use this. I don't want to pull out the experience card, but I have been in this space for about 9 years now. I've been running, this isn't my first server, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been involved with many, many other servers, and that's like the one rule that remains consistent on most other decently popular Minecraft servers, is that you're not allowed to talk about other servers. It's the same thing, a lot of popular YouTubers and streamers, right? A lot of I'm not going to name any names, but a lot of our YouTuber partners, if you go into their stream chat, like if I go into, one of our YouTubers stream chat and say, yo, I'm going to go watch, oh, yo, dude, TheStoryPainter just started streaming. I'm going to go check his thing out. Like, they would see that as, disrespectful. Like, you're on their stream, you're on their platform, you're on their time, and you just said in their stream chat, yo, other YouTubers just started streaming. I'm going to go check them out.
But where's the point that... So here's the thing, that if someone in my stream said that I'm gonna go watch this, I would just be like, cool. That's all I would say. I guess this is where people are saying that there's a bunch of censorship in, is that if you can't even utter the word Hypixel because it's considered advertising, this is just me, but that's kind of ridiculous in the sense that you can't even mention the server because it's considered advertisement. Or is it really that you don't want people on Hypixel? I know you're trying to get more players on Mineteria, but I still don't see exactly what the issue is if I say I'm going to go on Hypixel after playing, say, Mineteria for a lot. Because, unfortunately, this is kind of where I've gotten this, for streams, there's not enough to do on Mineteria that I haven't done about 100 times.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know, but and that's like that's totally fine. Like it's your platform. We can't stop you from that. But I think that it's more than reasonable. Just as I think it's reasonable that if you're live streaming, a big FNAF premiere of yours, and somebody comes in your chat and goes, "Yo, Minecraft Five Nights at Freddy's just started streaming. I'm gonna go check them out." Just as you might feel a little bit disrespected and offended by that, and maybe even time that person out. Which, by the way, I'm not going to name any names, but I know a bunch of our other creators would, and I've seen it on Twitter, creators posting about this problem many times. I think it's completely reasonable that a private, small gaming business like ours, which takes in a couple $1,000s a month compared to the millions of dollars Hypixel brings in, I think it's completely fair that we feel disrespected and we count that as advertising if players are talking about other servers on our platform. I genuinely, I can't see how that is breaking this this free speech thing. I genuinely don't think it falls under that category. I just don't. And I think like I said, many other servers agree with that. Many other content creators agree with that.
So I guess like the point is that people know what Mineteria is. People know what Hypixel is. I guess it just comes down to what one person feels like playing at a certain time. I mean,
right.
we could argue back and forth that
right.
It's advertising, it's not advertising. But how does that constitute a permanent ban on either, say, Discord? I mean, I understand if it's in Minecraft, a mute, but how does that constitute for a permanent ban just from saying that one thing? Because how does that translate a permanent ban? So if it's against rules, instead of warning them or say even muting them for that one thing, it's we're just going to ban them permanently. So because that's the correct way of putting it. Because to me, that's more or less like driving away people than anything else. I mean, if it's against the rules that you cannot go, you cannot utter this word, you cannot say this, or you'll get in trouble, I guess, why is that an instant ban?
So I actually kind of agree with you on one thing. I think that if people are saying the word, I don't necessarily think that it should be a permanent ban. I think that should be reserved for domain advertising. Somebody put mc.hypixel.net or yourserverhere.com or whatever server, an actual server domain, an IP address, a link to somewhere. I think that should absolutely constitute a permanent ban. And the most obvious reason for that, by the way, isn't just because it's losing us players. It's because we've had many cases of people posting, and this is actually a real thing, by the way. I'm not making this up. But posting IP addresses to super NSFW servers. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which obviously is not okay.
Yeah.
And something that we want to censor and shoot down with a permanent ban as fast as possible. But I do agree with you that while I will not back down on the notion of, I think, coming into our space, on our infrastructure, on our server, on our Discord, and talking about other servers, just as, again, I'll use the fan coming to your premiere and talking about another YouTuber that's streaming right then and there. Just as I think that a lot of creators, or actually no, I don't think, I know that a lot of other creators see that as disrespectful and time people out and ban them for that reason. I think that it's entirely reasonable that that Mineteria, if players are coming onto our infrastructure and talking about other servers, should face some sort of punishment. Maybe, I'm conceding to the fact that maybe a permanent ban is not just. Maybe if somebody says the word Hypixel, maybe it's counterproductive for us to be perm banning that kind of person. But like I said, I still do stand behind by the notion of doing that is disrespectful, and that's not something that we just want to be okay with.
All right, so to wrap that up, it's basically that you can't say Hypixel, or else it's an instant ban.
Well, didn't I just concede to the fact that in the case of saying that word, I don't think it should be a perm ban? I just conceded to, maybe you're right on that one, and maybe we will modify the punishment guide. I did just concede to that.
Okay, and So say people were banned because they just said Hypixel. What happens then?
What you're talking about in the past, or?
I'm just saying past, whatever, because to me, like, if you get permanently banned for saying just that, like, what do you think my response would be if I was a player?
Well, your response would be to not play anymore because you're banned, which is bad for us, and that's the thing that I just conceded to. I said that maybe this isn't in anyone's best interest to do this.
Okay.
I agreed with you.
So.
But I will say that the majority of our advertising punishments, which by the way we have less than you think, the majority of our advertising punishments are actual domain advertising, as in, holy fuck, new Skyblock server just launched. Come join us at this IP dot whatever.
Yep.
The majority, and when I say majority, I mean seriously, vast majority, 90% plus of our advertising bans are domain advertising. And I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that, you know, was or is a loyal, engaged member of our community that remains perm banned from mentioning another server. And if I do come across those people, then you have my word that I will reconsider the punishment.
Huh?
Hi, Evan.
Hello.
Hey.
So I'm gonna take a situation here, and I'm honestly very curious about this because, I mean, it's something that I've kind of been annoyed with for a while now, is that Evan here, he said Hypixel's better, whatever the context may be. I don't remember the exact thing said.
He said it as a joke. He said it as a joke.
I said after a long, hard weekend of coming home and being tired, as a joke I came into the VC, said Hypixel is better, play on Hypixel. Never said anything about the IP, never really did anything like that.
So my question is that a constant, because he was permanently banned from the Discord, almost permanently banned from Mineteria altogether.
Both of which were revoked, remember?
No, I'm not. No, I'm still banned on the Discord.
No, you're not.
You sure?
I removed that ban. Yeah, let me check.
Because I thought specifically
after Joshua and I talked, remember that one night where I was at In-N-Out in the car.
I don't remember that because.
You're not banned.
Mm-hmm. See, now I can join. Why wasn't I messaged about that I could join back?
I spoke with Joshua about this in the car.
I'm gonna look, because you told me that, what exactly did you tell me? You told me something on the lines of, well, because he quote unquote advertised, then he was staying banned. That's what I got. In fact, if we look in DMs, if we scroll up, like, you quote unquote said unbanned from in-game, but he's staying banned on Discord for that. So, like, where's the miscommunication there?
Well, like I said, remember I believe that was before we talked for the second time in BC. We talked about this twice in BC, from what I recall.
Was that, like, after the time I asked for the code money, or was that after a different time?
So we talked the night that you asked for the code money, and then we talked again after that. And that's where I lifted the ban on the Discord, because I'd, cooled off a little bit.
I'm okay. I gotta think. Hold on. I gotta try to remember this conversation. Because I remember.
Josh, I think though that the point that we're getting at, and I conceded to the fact when this was the night that you asked for the code money, when I was in the car speaking with you, I conceded that punishment was unjust and how I reacted to the situation was unjust, and I removed the ban when I got home. I conceded to that at the time, and I'm now conceding.
When did you
I remember. Okay, I'm trying to remember the conversation because I asked about that. Like, I remember we were talking about, like, I didn't receive anything from my code from, like, how long. I remember that was one of the topics we were talking on. And then I'm trying to remember, like, I know that we were talking about that Evan situation. I still don't recall. Like, I remember he was unbanned from server. I remember that fully. I do not remember that you saying that he was unbanned from the Discord. So I don't know if that was a miscommunication.
Well, he was never banned in game, Josh. He was never banned.
I know that. I know that. I know he was never banned in Minecraft, but like, I don't remember.
He was banned in the Discord because that's when he did it. I banned him, and then we talked, and this is when we talked about the code money. We talked, and I removed the ban because remember I told you that I was annoyed. It was heat of the moment. Just as Evan came home and after a long week, I was annoyed. I don't remember exactly why I was frustrated, but I was frustrated. You know, it annoyed me. This is very high paced, very stressful. What I do every single day. I was annoyed, and I reacted in a way that I admitted was not appropriate for the situation, and I removed his ban. Whether or not that was communicated to him, you know, I never really talked to him specifically. I never really talked to Evan after that point. But his Discord ban was removed. And I just conceded to you now, Josh.
Yeah.
I just conceded to you now that you know, in the future, I'm very pro modifying our punishment guide so that players that purely mention the names of other servers in a joking context aren't permanently banned because of this, and that we reserve the permanent bans for domain name advertising and people that are saying the names of other servers. We issue some other form of punishment, such as a mute.
Okay. I don't remember that. I don't remember being told that Evan was unbanned from Discord. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't remember exactly because it was like a month or two ago. Trying to remember.
Yeah, and bio in the chat. Yeah, I 100%. I have pop out chat on, so just. But yeah, Vile, and that's what I just said is, you know, should be the case. I feel like I'm being quite reasonable here. I'm agreeing. I'm conceding that mentioning the name of another server should not be a permanent ban. I agreed that case that we just talked about was unjust. That punishment was revoked weeks ago, and I said that, you know, we were going to modify the punishment guide, reserve permanent bans for domain name advertising, and purely saying the name of another brand or server would just be, you know, some other form of punishment, such as a mute. I feel like the consensus is that that's pretty reasonable.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I'm trying to think of. Because I'm trying to remember everything.
I'm open to discussion. Like I consider myself a very transparent person. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in a lot of really, really shitty situations. You know, my Minetaria's been, you know, going. I don't want to. It hasn't been massively successful. It hasn't, you know, flopped. It's, you know, it's going. You know, we've got a real shot here with this MMORPG game mode that we're developing, and like I said, we're really, to put you from the perspective of myself, we're really just trying to truck along with the resources that we have, do whatever we can to get to the point to where we can keep pumping out new content. You know, other servers are, you know, charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars for ranks, you know, doing 90% off sales. I've never been, you know, one accusation that I'm glad isn't made against me a lot, because I've tried really hard not to have this accusation be made against me. I've tried really hard not to be that guy, is the whole money whore accusation. I'm very much not that guy. You know, Mineteria, we've never been, you know, that server that's having a $500 rank, a faction server with 90% off sales and crates and all this crazy money exploitation stuff. So from that respect, we really do try and be quite reserved in terms of like what we ask for players from resources. We're just, like I said, we're really just trying to truck along with what we've got and get us to the point where we can make some new content.
So like, if it's not so much about like money and stuff like that, like I'm still curious to this day, because I'm trying to remember everything, and I'll clarify what I'm meaning is that, like, if it's not so much about the money, why did it take almost 6 months to receive anything from the code that, like, my code that people use to not only, like, not just get a discount from stuff in Mineteria, but you know, to support me as a person, because I had to ask multiple times, and I mean, for something like that, I can't just wave it off as a coincidence that it's not just, you know, me that's happening to. Like,
Right.
I could probably
Right, so-
I could probably go to a lot of YouTubers that are on Mineteria. They could probably say the exact same thing. What
Right.
you told me at the time is that it was on a must-need basis, on roughly, if I remember the description, that who needs it the most. But for the majority, you said that you were pretty much withholding the YouTuber money as like
That's not the correct word.
Okay, then what was being said then?
So yeah. So firstly, I want to backtrack a little bit and say that I didn't say that it wasn't all about the money. Obviously, developing this new game mode,
Yeah.
guys. This Mineteria Life game mode that we're developing, by the end of when this game mode is done, this will cost us like $40,000. So game development is really, really expensive, and I know that's not necessarily anyone's concern. But yeah, the development of this game mode is extremely expensive. So I worded that when I was speaking out very carefully. I worded that because I want to make it clear that our solution to the game being expensive is not to exploit players. Our solution to the game being expensive is not to introduce a new $500 rank, is not to introduce faction crates where people pay a $50 monthly subscription for bullshit rewards. That is not our solution to the situation. Our solution to the situation is to use what little resources we have in a way that works in the best long-term interests of the business and the beneficiaries of the business. And the beneficiaries of the business are the YouTubers, the developers, the staff, the investors, everyone that has a financial investment or some commitment or some, you know what I mean? They put something into this server, whether it be advertising or money or development work. All of that stuff. It's like I said, it's reinvested in the server for the best interest of the long term of the beneficiaries, right? And so I answered this to you in the call. I did say, I did answer it on the whole, must need basis. And I still do stand by that. With the little resources we have, we need to, work with creators in a way that, works for everyone and is going to allow us to survive. Because the alternative to that is a couple people get everything and then everyone else gets nothing because we don't have the money to continue the server and everything just flops, or everyone gets nothing really meaningful and the server still flops. You know what I mean? So we've kind of addressed it, like you said and like I said, on really a must-need basis. When you talked to me about it, I was very reasonable. We got it taken care of. We got it worked out. Right on time, right when we said we were going to, not on time from the 6-month perspective, but after we talked about it, it was settled and it was dealt with. And like I said, I want to make it very clear that our answer to that, the problem of resources, is not to introduce super expensive ranks and to exploit our users. I'm very against doing that. I've been in this space for a long time, and I've seen server owners do really bad stuff and exploit kids out of a lot of really hard-earned money. We're not about that. Our solution to that problem is to make very careful, efficient use of the little resources that we have, and hope that our community will be generous enough to continue to support us and tell their friends and help us out and help us get to the point to where we can release new content and expand from there.
But can YouTubers really live off of an IOU?
No, they can't, and that's why like I said, that's why we're addressing it the way we are. We're not going to, when YouTubers come to us, we're not saying, "Fuck you, go away," like go pound sand. We're talking to them and we're addressing it on a need to have basis. And that's, like I said, Josh, that's the only thing we can do right now, because you need to look at the alternatives. The alternatives are, we have a lot of creators. The alternative is, like, we are stretched thin. The alternative is everybody gets close to nothing, and there's nothing in the future, and they just wasted a lot of time and investment and everything's down the drain. Or the other alternative is, some people get a lot and other people get nothing and everything is down the drain. Or then the third alternative is what we're going with right now, which is careful, calculated use of our resources so that we can work in the best long-term benefit of our beneficiaries, which are YouTubers, developers, staff members, it's a really complicated thing. This isn't just, we started up a Minecraft server on XP Pro Hosting. We've been working on this thing since 2016. I've put over $80,000 of my own money into that I had saved up in an IRA from previous business ventures of mine into this server. I'm way in debt. I'm way in debt. And I'm not saying that's your problem. I'm saying that I'm trying to work in the best long-term interest of everyone.
But I guess the one thing I would say, and this was one of the concerns that I had, is that if, I really hope it doesn't, say Mineteria Life that wasn't as successful as one thought. Where's the security that the YouTubers who, like, I know it's the whole thing about investments and all that, like, I get that. But at the same time, the code is not just used for a discount purposes. It's to support the creator themselves. So I guess the problem that I have is that there's still kind of no security that the money that the fans spent to support said creator, like, where's the security that the YouTuber would get what they have? Because at the end of the day, the YouTubers are bringing in players. They're the ones that are giving a high amount of players to the server. You can take a GLG, you can take Brian, you can even take myself. Like, good day, I can bring about 80 people to the server. So if they're using that code expecting to support me, and I'm getting the answers that, well, it's all about investments and all that, like, I guess, where's the security that I'm going to receive what I've been promised from that?
So I want to answer that first of all by saying, we don't sign contracts. We don't, like, if we sign contracts and all that, the security itself would be more official. But I do want to make it clear that the people that are taking the risk here, the people that are taking the serious risk of not getting anything ever, are myself and the investors. Those are the two groups of people, well, one group of people, one just being me, that are taking the serious risk. I'm the person, and the investors are the people that, if everything goes downhill, are going to lose not hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars, but many tens of thousands of dollars. Those are the people that are going to lose out. We have securities for you guys. We have securities for developers. We have securities for YouTubers. If Mineteria Life wasn't successful, we would not just bail. We would not just dip and run away and pretend like it never happened. Our YouTubers would absolutely get taken care of. The securities are not there for the investors, and they're not there for myself. Those are the people that have no securities. We are the entrepreneurs. We're the businessmen that are taking the risk. You guys are not the people that are taking the risk. And that's, again, a decision that we made in your guys' favor very early on. And we made that decision for trust purposes, obviously. We didn't plan for ourselves to be in the situation that we're in. We absolutely didn't plan for ourselves to be in the situation that we're in. We've been firefighters for the last years. We really have been firefighters. The growth path of the server has been totally unpredictable. We couldn't have predicted the COVID wave, which threw the economy in shambles and hurt gaming revenue on many businesses for a long time. I mean, you're a YouTuber. You probably saw ad revenue go way down at the beginning of the COVID thing. It's back now. But at the beginning of when the whole COVID thing happened, you probably saw ad revenue go way down. Advertising companies were pouring much less money into advertising. Consumers had much less money, et cetera, et cetera. So, the whole path, the whole course of the last year has been totally unpredictable. And we've been firefighters for the last year. We've been managing the situation just in whatever way we can to just stay alive and stay afloat.
So, I understand that the investors in them are the ones making the risks. At the same time, there is something to be said that as YouTubers, we're the ones that are bringing people to the server, our communities. Like, we're spending the time, estimated per month, I probably, for streaming wise, I probably do at least 10 hours of stream time, at least. That's like a very minimum. So I mean, like, I get it, the investors are the ones losing the risks, but at the same time, the YouTubers who are taking that time to stream on the server, they're also at a risk to not earn anything from what they're doing. Because, yes, there's a lot involved with the server itself, but at the same time, we are the ones that are choosing to stream on your server, which we could be doing towards, you know, producing, say, for my channel, if I could use that extra time to even produce more of my machinima. I could use it more for script writing. I could do it towards a different game that could even, like, a lot more people would watch. Say, if I was to go on Fall Guys. So, yeah, I understand that the investors are taking a large risk, but at the same time, YouTubers are as well, because we're also spending time trying to have the server succeed.
Right, and like I said, we're fully aware of that, and we're managing the situation as absolutely best as we can. Like, genuinely, if there's any more strings I could pull, you can ask Vectrix, you know, who you seem to have a pretty decent relationship. You can ask Vectrix, you can ask any of the people. I mean, my guy, there's a reason I'm on here all day, every day. Like, I'm genuinely, I'm pulling every possible string. I haven't, you know, and I'm not saying I should get money from this, but like I said, I work on this 18 hours a day. All the players know this. If there's one thing nobody can debate is that I'm active. I'm really active. I'm working on this thing all day, every day, and I'm pulling every string I can possibly pull for our developers, for our YouTubers. I'm pulling every possible string that I can pull. And like I said, we're trying to manage our resources as best as possible. And when, you know, our content creators approach us, like you have, we do our best to deal with the situation. And for you, we did deal with the situation, and we'll continue to deal with the situation. And you know, although there were, you know, a few months that went by that happened because of this situation that we're in. When you approached us, it's not like I you know, I told you to go pound sand, Josh. We did take care of the situation, and you can't discount that. And you know, you're talking about the security. You know, we're not racking up. We're not racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt with YouTubers. The debt, you know, to our content creators remain within a manageable figure, such that if, you know, something did happen in the future and we, you know, whatever reason had to close up shop, that we would be able to take care of those. You know, that we would be able to find a way to take care of that owed capital, so that we could end off dealings with people in a peaceful way. So I maintain that the people that are taking the risk are myself and the investor in that regard.
So, about this, like, whole money thing, I guess, like, one of the questions I have is that who exactly, like, when it comes to a cut, like, of the cut of the server, who is exactly getting paid? Because for as far as I know, like,
what do you mean? What does that mean? Can you clarify?
Like, you were saying earlier for staff team that they, like, when it comes to money wise, you were saying Mineteria Life, you were saying staff team. Who exactly on staff team are like the revenue is owed to? So, like, who gets a portion? That's what I'm saying. Is that,
are you asking who on our team gets paid?
I'm not saying exactly who, because I'm not going to ask that, but, like, say...
Our whole team is volunteer with the exception of our software engineers.
Okay. So...
Our whole team is volunteer with the exception of our software engineers.
Okay, so understand helpers, mods, like admins, they don't receive anything?
Yeah, our whole team is volunteer, and you know, with the exception of huge servers like Hypixel that have millions of dollars at their disposal, that is the case amongst most servers. Most servers. I've been involved in this community for a long time. That is the case of most servers. That the whole team is volunteer, with the exception of our software engineers.
Like, how much time would you say that, like, I'll take Winterwolf for example. How much time does Winterwolf spend on the server?
She spends a lot of time on the server, but she understood from the get-go, just as a Red Cross volunteer understands from the get-go that if they're volunteering every day, that the Red Cross isn't suddenly going to say, well, you volunteered for 18 hours a day for 4 years, now we're going to, start paying you. They understand that it's a volunteer organization. Technically, Mineteria is a for-profit business. We have not profited. We are very far from profiting. We are very, very far from profiting. When Winterwolf signed up for the staff team, when Pubby signed up for the staff team, they all understood that it was a volunteer job, and so did all of the other staff members on the team. They all understood that it was a volunteer position, just as members on most, like I said, 99%, even on Hypixel, all of their staff are volunteers except for the admins. And like I said, they're a little bit of a different situation. They have millions of players. They have millions of dollars at their disposal. Most of the other Minecraft servers, which we fall in that 99, we're not in the 1%, we're in the 99%. Most of those other Minecraft servers make it very clear to their staff members that they're signing up, they're going to help, as much as they can, because they care about the server, they care about the community, they care about the growth, and it's a volunteer position. And I think it's made clear to them. They're not sold a promise. A helper is not sold a promise of receiving money and then denied money. It's made very clear to them from the beginning that it's a volunteer position, Josh.
Okay. I guess to finalize everything, and I could probably speak arguably for everyone, that I've talked to and all that, those that are watching, I could arguably say that one of the main problems that players are having right now is probably the sense that they do not feel like they are being heard. I could give this is more of an extreme situation. I'm not going to reveal names, anything like that. Individual, I don't know how to say this because I don't personally want to get demonetized on YouTube. An individual, when it comes to a situation, say that they've been manipulated by another individual. I'm not going to say exactly what was happened.
Hold on, wait, can we take a step back? I feel like I know you don't want to name names, but it's a little bit too abstract right now for me to understand. What are you exactly saying?
Okay, so what I'm saying is that a lot of people, they're having a lot of trouble when it comes to listening and all that. They try saying something.
Members or staff?
It would be members. Say,
so
for
members
example,
are having trouble with what?
They're having trouble with people understanding. People feel that there's a double standard with stuff. Rather it be, member spams, they get muted. Say a helper spams, they, for little to no reason. I could probably look through logs, but they're given a free pass. So I guess kind of if I had to boil everything, people do not feel like they're being heard. And I can give an example that someone who was kind of abused by a staff member, not in the typical, you struck, like you put a strike on me and all that. I'm talking more as a creepy type of, deal. I mean, I could say the word pedo, and you could probably understand what situation.
I don't want to mention this person's name, but we dealt with a situation just like this just a few days ago where a staff member was removed for these kinds of activities. So we're
the one person that I'm referring to is that they felt like, honestly, they felt like Mineteria did not care that something like that happened. It took Mineteria 3 days, probably, I don't even know if more, to ban 3 to 5 days to ban that individual that was causing much more harm than good, being manipulated, saying very, very sexual things that should not be said to a minor. Takes them 3 to 5 days.
I think I know what situation.
Someone says Hypixel is better, they get banned instantly. And I understand what you've told me before, that Mineteria doesn't witch hunt, but at the same time, you have to take it into account that that person did not feel like Mineteria was really looking into that situation. That it was going to be more dropped than it would be taken care of. And I think that's what a lot of people are having a lot of problems with right now. Like, I could, like, there's probably multiple instances, and I'm not going to go through it all.
Right.
Rather it be it's a miscommunication between staff and players. Rather it be an unfair anything. Rather it be an unfair mute that you can't even appeal for. Rather it be something said, you get muted for whatever. I can't think of all the scenarios, but a lot of people are just kind of annoyed. Like, if I even had to say, there's another person that, giveaway, they got Elite Plus. There's not been a follow-up that they've received Elite Plus. Or say a building competition that people spent months trying to do, but that map's not even added to Skywars. Yet we're going to spend how many times, making even this, like this lobby, like creating all of this, when like you could simply upload the Skywars map from the build competition that won, that in full honesty, like I'm no coder, but I certainly have some dev friends that wouldn't take that long to implement. And that whole competition was 2 months ago.
Right,
So
yeah, the Skywars map winner, I will admit that we've been a little bit slow on, and I'm not saying this to justify that that exact situation, but there are a number of edits that need to be made to that map for it to fit our criteria for a minigame map. We hold ourselves to high standards. That's not me saying the build is shit, we need to completely redo it in order to add it. There are a number of edits that we need to make in order for that map to get added. And like I said, just as, the Elite Plus rank, that's a rank that we've wanted to get out for 3 months now. It's probably 10 dev hours from being done. We haven't done it. We haven't done it because it's so hard for us to justify taking time away from Mineteria life in order to focus on that. Just as the builders, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, and I'm sure Vectrix will reinforce what I'm about to say in the chat. Mineteria life on the development front is way ahead of where Mineteria life is on the build front. The build is way behind. Like, the build is way behind. And so it really has simply been a case of that map does need some fairly extensive modifications to it in order to meet the criteria to get that on the server. It's literally been a case of we're so behind on the build, and we're getting to the point to where we really need to start testing stuff that we just haven't been able to justify taking build resources away from Mineteria Life to go put on that. And again, the alternative is us shouting at our builders and saying, work harder, work faster, work more. We can't do that. They're volunteers, they're kids. They do the best job they possibly can, right? And so we're not gonna go attacking them, telling them that they need to stay after hours or whatever. They do the best that they can, and we just need to put them where we need to put them in order to survive.
I think honestly at this point, I'll just be perfectly honest with you, is that I think at one point or another there needs to be, say, like a community.
Cutoff point.
I'm not even saying cutoff point. I'm saying I'd say this is a suggestion, because I mean, if I told everyone in chat to type 1 and say that like they don't feel like they're being heard or anything like that, staff is making some unfair some unfair actions, that people, like, there are some genuine, like, major problems with Mineteria, like, the whole thing with, like, this, why I did this stream, it's not to take down a server, because that's not what I believe in. But unfortunately, unfortunately at this point, I feel like there are so many people that are trying to give Mineteria the benefit of the doubt, but people are starting to lose patience with it. And I understand that there's a lot of stuff that you guys are doing, and I understand that Mineteria is taking a lot of money, and I understand all that, but there are some very severe problems. Like, I get the YouTuber thing, but unfortunately it's just kind of something that it's just a little concerning for me. Like, you look at how many YouTubers that have been here for years and they haven't even earned a single penny. I mean, like, at the end of the day, we understand that Mineteria takes a lot of time to make. We understand that Mineteria takes a lot of money to produce. But at the same time, we're technically business partners with you. So we want Mineteria to succeed, but at the same time, we can't we can't continue if we're not getting we're not getting the things that we're promised to do. So, as a personal suggestion, it's entirely up to you. Like, I'd honestly hold, say, a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, even a community hall type event. You get everyone in the VC. You meet everyone. You allow like a couple people at a time. You get like a couple people to be the representatives of the players that like there's some severe problems, because again, I don't want Mineteria to go, because that's not what I'm about. Like, I appreciate
I appreciate that a lot. I just want to pause you there, and I want to say I appreciate that a lot.
Like, I'm not one to try and shut people down, and I'm certainly like, if there's staff that have a problem with me specifically, I've told many people that they can DM me. But I think that honestly, people just want to be heard, and for the sake of Mineteria, and to ensure that like it doesn't crumble because players just start leaving, I think a lot of this stuff kind of has to be resolved. And I'm saying a reasonable amount. I'm not saying doing something like incredibly drastic, that would be stupid, but even like some small things, like take some time. These helpers are like representatives of what you are. It's like I have to handpick my helpers because they represent who I am. So if there's staff that's misrepresenting Mineteria and they're misrepresenting you, then people are going to put the blame on the server itself.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree with you more.
So I think honestly there should be something that's like an event that's hold. Like, I don't know when, but I think that you should honestly take some time. I think staff needs to be open, not exactly taking attacks, because people aren't like, there are some people that are just going to attack, but there are also some people that just want to give, like, to be heard. I guess that's what I'm saying. And like, even myself, I've had some problems with even getting an issue resolved. I've had to go to certain people because I don't trust other staff members to get that done. And like, if there's any staff that are watching this, like, at the end of the day, like, if I'm saying to the Winterwolf, where's the Mineteria furry convention, that's not an attack. If I'm saying Abstract is Limburger cheese, that's not an attack. If I'm saying bad staff, I'm not attacking personally, but instead of saying that I'm just, causing a scene, or say someone else says bad staff, where's the reasoning why? I guess I don't really know how to exactly put this, but I think there needs to be more training.
There needs to be more communication. Yeah.
More training, and honestly, for any helpers that are watching this, don't take everything seriously. I know that sounds really stupid of me, because I know that there's a lot of people pissed at me right now, right? But you just...
And I would ask that my staff that are watching this thing to please, like, not hold grudges. Like, although my preferred method of sorting this out, wasn't on stream, I'm not flacking him for it. I'm here. I hope that at least all of you can agree that I am in this call and I'm maturely trying to discuss this and solve issues. And I can only hope that, everybody here can, like Josh said, the goal of this stream wasn't to cancel me. It wasn't to cancel my livelihood, what I've worked so hard on. The goal of this was to solve issues and to figure this out. And I can only hope that everyone watching this stream has that same goal and has has a vision of resolution and not a vision of hatred and fire. And I agree with you. I think that there does need to be more communication. I think that there, as I admitted, I think that there have been, many times where, you know, there have been punishments that were issued that were unjust. That there has been, a condescending rhetoric against people that's unjust. And I think that needs to be fixed. And I agree.
And about like this whole reason why I decided to stream Despawn, it's more or less it's about accountability. Is that when you're saying this, it's not just to me in my DMs, right? Because unfortunately I've had past experience I try to sort things in DMs as much as possible, but there are some times I feel like it cannot be sorted. With this, it's more or less an accountability that people like understand, like they know I'm not saying just like to go, stream whatever, right? What I'm saying is that when I'm saying that there's general problems, I feel like there has to be some accountability that, yes, you are going to solve this. It's not going to be, say, for me, trying to figure out when I'm going to get something from my code, having to wait for 6 months on end. Or, like, any of this. And I think, for the most part, people are quite patient with stuff like that. People are really patient to, give things a second chance, because I could probably ask everyone if these things can get resolved, a second chance. Because in full honesty, I'll just be perfectly transparent with you. I was very much considering leaving Mineteria, not even to this point, but for other things that were happening, like just to other people. So
Yeah. And I'm, by the way, I just want to say, like, I personally, and again, if any of you follow me on Twitter, I literally tweeted a few weeks ago, like, believe in second chances. I'm a huge believer in second chances. Like I said, a lot of these people that have been, that have been punished or have been muted or whatever, have gotten countless chances of them breaking the rules. And I'm not necessarily saying all of those punishments were just and they should have been done and I would do it all over again, but I am a huge, you can't find somebody that's more pro second chance than I am. And I'm very clear about that, and my actions do represent that, that believer in second chances mentality. And so I'm very much that way, and yeah, I agree with you that there does need to be more communication and breaking the barrier down ultimately between the staff and the players. Something that I said, and perhaps our actions haven't exactly mapped to that, but something that I said when I was starting Mineteria is that staff should be players with a tag. Perhaps Connor remembers that, perhaps Winter remembers that. That's something that I said a lot back in 2018 when we started this server. Really think about that. Staff should be players with a tag. They should be just like anybody other or any other member of the community. They should be a part of the community. They should be tightly knit in the community. They should be players with a tag, and that all that tag represents is the ability to help out more. And I do think, like you said, that perhaps there have been more than just a couple occasions where we haven't exactly lived up to that promise. And you have my word that going forward, I will do my absolute best. I will do my absolute best to make sure that that is not the case. Within every reasonable ability that we have to do that, I will work my ass off to make sure that is not the case.
And about that whole thing I was saying for that event, and again, part of the reason I felt like I should involve myself in this is because, unfortunately, Zach, I've had a lot of people that have DM'd me regarding Mineteria saying no matter what I can do, they're just not going to listen. And I could probably give you hundreds of names, well, not hundreds, but I can give you a bunch of names for that. So, like, if someone said that, even in like lobby, if they said that, like a critique about stuff, I'm sorry to say, like, guaranteed they'd probably get muted. So, as much as like YouTubers have a whole thing, like have this like quote unquote special treatment, should still be the same type of fairness all around. Because
I agree.
just because I have a YouTube rank, that doesn't mean, or I have a YouTube channel with people following me, that doesn't mean I'm anything better than like a different player. And the only reason I decided to go ahead and do this was because I want to make sure that everyone else, you know, has that ability to voice their opinions and all that. So I guess just moving forward from this point, I'm more than willing to give Mineteria a second chance, and I'd say my communities probably will give Mineteria a second chance, but I think very strongly, not only do staff need to be learning more about how to handle a situation professionally, I still think that whole idea of like bringing people event, because I don't think it's just like us smaller YouTubers, because I can
people what?
like bringing people into, say, a VC, have it kind of like event lounge where everyone else is muted, and you take just a little bit of time, maybe an hour, where you just hear some of the problems that like people are dealing with. Have like maybe 3 people bring up some major issues that they want answered and maybe some stuff resolved, because I could probably tell you, not just myself as like a smaller YouTuber, because I am indeed a smaller YouTuber that's on the platform, but there might even be some problems with like bigger YouTubers that they could have, but they don't want to say anything. Like there could also be stuff that like anyone else, like members, staff, like maybe they have an issue that's being like dealt with. So I guess the whole thing boils down to is that Mineteria in a whole, I'm not targeting one person. It needs to be listening to the players more. Like
I agree. I mean,
I'd say that like we're a community that has come together for the server, and out of anything in a day, I've been in marketing. I've been in like even just something simple as being a reservationist for a resort. People just want to know that they're being listened to, and that like that's the number one priority. If people don't feel like they're listened to, then they're just gonna move on. So I guess from this point on, I mean, I know there's a lot of people watching this stream. Like, for staff, please, for server's sake, for your own sake, for Despawn's sake, please listen. All right, because I'll admit it, I was kind of an asshole for the day, you know. But the end of the day is that, like, you guys are a part of something that's incredibly large, and there's been a lot of people that have, you know, brought out. There's been some problems, and regardless of who the people are, whether they've had offenses or not, if they're bringing out something about staff, then that should not be taken as an attack. It's to be meant as a criticism. And this whole thing about messaging, people, if it was that simple, then people would have done it by now. I'm just being perfectly honest. If it was that simple, then people would message you saying, that's fine. But I guess there's a flaw when people are DMing me, who I'm not even a part of staff, and they have some stuff that like they're dealing with, and I'm probably the only one that can talk some sense into people, where I can even get someone to listen. For like players from this point on, if we're having this whole thing about being transparent about stuff, and we're on a point of listening, I'm asking that if there is a problem, bring it to staff, and the staff should respond in a type of caring way that like this person's having a problem. I guess how I can put it is that my last place that I worked as a reservationist is that it was the term that we always had to use. We never said, like, if someone said thank you, we never say no problem, or we never say no worries. You always respond with, it's my pleasure. So think of it in the sense is that it's your pleasure to assist this person into what they're doing. Because, again, at the end of the day, you're representing something, right? And it should be your pleasure to assist with what someone's dealing with. You're trying to make it they also use the term a just for you moment. How can you make their day special? If you just listen to one person, all right, you listen to one person that they're having, like, if you have a problem, like just listening, like if a player has a problem, just listening to them I'll give you a 9 out of 10 chance that they will continue playing on the server, just because that you took the time out of your day to answer them. And I'm not saying to work yourselves to the point that you're killing yourselves trying to get whatever, work, school, whatever. But communication is absolutely key with absolutely everything. If you don't have communication, then you're just setting yourself up for a fail. So I guess
I couldn't agree more, and I appreciate you vocalizing that, because yeah, you know, I'm one man, I'm one human, I'm one guy. I have, you know, only a limited amount of time. That's not an excuse for not responding to people. We need to make use of the team. We need to make use of our staff members that, you know, regardless of past situations, really do have, like, their intent is to help. They've dealt with some situations poorly. We've dealt with some situations poorly. Some bad things have happened, but they're not bad people. Like, they don't have malicious bad intent. They want to help. You know, you know, just as I'm sure all of your staff members do, just as I'm sure you do. And I agree that the answer always needs to be civilized talking. I agree with the, you know, getting everyone in event chat. In event chat, vocalizing concerns. I want to be there. Like, I want to be as the person, you know, that's, you know, the head of the whole operation. I want to be there to, you know, reassure people that, you know, their voices are being heard and that people aren't being forgotten. So there's nothing that you said that I disagree with.
Yeah, and I guess at the end of the day, for staff, is that if I was thinking of myself as a player, not even as a like someone who brings players to Mineteria, it's like I'm making the choice to play on the server. Like, if I had the choice, if I had a better, let's put it this way, Hypixel, there's a lot of people, all right, there's a lot of people that have to be moderated. So I guess at the end of the day, would I rather have the option, if there's a problem that I'd rather not be witnessing, like people aren't going to listen to my problem, or I could even push something on, say, the other server that has like a forum that I'm going to get answers within like one day. Which server am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the one that's going to provide me the most support. So that's the whole thing. Players are choosing to be a part of this server. They're not money bags, and they certainly don't have to spend money.
We don't.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just using an analogy. I'm using an analogy.
Okay, good.
So
I'm glad that was an analogy, because that is one thing that, like, you know, roast me all day, but I'm absolutely not a money whore. Absolutely, yeah. So,
one last thing I want to say to staff, since I have everyone's attention, and Alex Torres actually brought this up really much, is that you are setting an example. I know I've said much about example, but I'm also saying is that people look up to you in what you're doing, your position, everything. Say a kid goes on, right? Like, say if they're a 13-year-old kid, a helper is the first person that meet. You want to make that first impression the most memorable. Make their day worth it, because they will return every single time. And
we do have that mentality too. I mean, that is why we do this.
I understand.
Yeah.
But they look up to, like, no matter who it is, no matter what server it is, rather it be Discord, rather it be Minecraft, or rather it be whatever, even YouTube streams, right? They look up to the person that's in a position of authority. So, like, say for my Discord, people look up to say Evan, because he's the person in authority. He's the one that is representing me. People like to talk to Evan. He's really chill. So people look up to him. He's the role model. So I guess the whole thing is that be the role model. Rather helper, mod, admin, developer, no matter, be the role model. Because people will look up to you no matter who you are, no matter like what age you are. Like it's kind of the same thing when you like rather be YouTuber. Like even when I used to be a camp counselor, people looked up to me. I was literally counseling kids that were the same age as me, but they looked up to me as an adult because I was in a position of power, right? So I guess that's as much as I could probably say for staff. There's a lot more regarding how to act professionally, and I hope that this stream is sent to staff if possible.
Well, yeah,
but-
we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna have a whole discussion about this with staff. We're gonna have a whole discussion about stuff with the community as situations arise.
Uh-huh.
Or this. I hope that this, like you said in the beginning of your last thing before I responded, I hope that everyone here is willing to, take this stream as informative and a public acknowledging that there are issues we need to sort out. But I also hope that the public can be conscious of the fact that we are all humans and just like Josh, you are encouraging people to give it a second chance. I hope that everybody on the stream will do exactly that and allow us an opportunity of redemption and not just immediately come to the conclusion that we're not worth paying attention to. So I hope that that's the mentality of everybody watching the stream is that we're not horrible people. We are trying. I am really trying, and I will although I am trying in terms of like time expenditure, this stream has definitely convinced me that some of that time expenditure needs to be directed in other areas, as does the time expenditure of our team. And like I restated multiple times, you have my word that that is the case and that will happen. So like I said, I hope that everyone on this stream can take this as just like a civilized discussion, and we can, like Josh said, we're a part of something together, and I hope that we can come out on the other side of it together.
And then I guess the last thing, this is not necessarily anything for staff or players alike. This is most likely to YouTubers, all right? So I was thinking about this, and I don't know how quick I could do it. But if it would harm Mineteria for the sake to give people the YouTuber money now, since Mineteria Life is still in development, this is really crazy for me to say. If Zach could give me the numbers, I can't really do the partners, but I could definitely do the YouTubers. Over some time, I'm not sure when, I would be more than willing to pay out of my pocket for the YouTubers to get what they're owed.
While I do really appreciate the notion of that, I'm an individualist. I'm a really hardworking guy. I want to take care of the situation on our dime. I want to take care of the situation on behalf of Mineteria. I don't want to feel like, although I really appreciate that, and you're like an amazing person for even extending that offer, I really do want to take this conversation as civilized, constructive criticism, and do what we can on our end and get this figured out on our end sooner than later, and get this figured out for everyone. Because I think that I agree with you. I think that there is a way to figure this out even with Mineteria Life being a thing.
And I'm saying even if you could give the YouTubers a security that they will eventually get it, because I guess the whole thing is that it's such an unknown thing, right? So
the YouTubers do have, and I know that security is kind of undefined and it's not got a definite closing date, but believe me when I do say that they do, they do have a security. Like we do keep track of the numbers internally, and even if the Mineteria Life project was canceled right this moment, we wouldn't just close up the doors and run away and pretend like it ever happened. Like we would, and you have my word on this, and this is literally on the stream, we would get square with those people. Like we would make sure that those people are taken care of at the end of the day.
So taken away from everything is that I still think, regardless of member, staff, YouTuber, big or small, rather you have 1,000 subs or 400,000 or 1 million, regardless of what it is, I think everyone should come together to one point, talk out the differences, because I don't think just up and leaving is the correct thing to do. I think that's a reasonably fair conclusion to come to. I think that's a very much a middle ground for the different parties.
It sounds like the consensus is that, we've de-escalated. It's clear that there's work to be done, but we've de-escalated, and everyone is willing to, at least for now, really keep this de-escalated so that we can, have a chance to figure this out. Is that the case with you, Josh?
Yeah, and again, honestly, just like an event, a call to get everyone together and to like understand what everyone's having issues with. I'd recommend doing that. For anyone that has violated rules, like I don't really know what to tell you. But if you've been muted for something that like you even deem unfair, I think there should still be an appeal. I know that the individuals that you probably know who I'm talking about, Zach. Even like there's no appeal for a mute. I think that's a big thing. There's like.
I think we would have to.
It should not be a complete hopeless situation. That you're muted. Too bad, so sad. Because that's a whole thing about. Well, I'm not getting listened to or anything like that.
Right, and I definitely agree with you. But also, I mean, wouldn't you also agree that like there has to be a limit on that for not first-time offenders, not second-time offenders, not third-time offenders, but 30th-time offenders? I mean, you agree with that, right?
I would agree with that. And then, so like, any concerns that people have should be voiced, and for me, I'll make sure that this whole thing happens. Hopefully, that the call goes in. Like, even just like little things like hub spam. I know a lot of people, like my sister, couldn't even get on server the other day because there's just so much stuff happening that no one could even get on with like a lower end PC. So just stuff like that. You don't need to answer that right now, but like even stuff like that, people have questions about. I still think it's a valid thing to discuss.
Yeah, we'll try and tame it down. I mean, unless it's just like, yo, YouTuber is streaming, go check them out. We spam it a couple times, or yo, join Bed Wars squads. I mean, I think that's reasonable, but we've toned down the effects recently. I want Winter to stop spawning in those fucking boats next to the fucking spawn. I'm gonna fuck. Anyways, the entities, I totally get what you're saying. But yeah, well, like I said, we're gonna have a whole internal meeting.
Okay.
About all this.
And
yeah, but I just want to say to the audience, this is to the audience that I appreciate the general consensus being understanding that we're all humans and understanding that we genuinely do want to solve these issues. If I wasn't interested in solving these issues, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be I am interested in solving these issues, and I appreciate the audience in the chat. I appreciate everyone recognizing and understanding a lot.
But yeah, I think that we've come to agreement. Again, this whole thing with this whole stream and everything, Zach, is that it is accountability. So for everything that you have said, you are accountable for what for everyone that heard it. So I think everyone's willing to give Mineteria a second look, as long as there's more communication, more people being heard. And as long as people are getting heard, we don't have to worry about this. Like, we'll forget about it.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll do our absolute best to be communicative. The only other thing that I do want to say before we wrap up the stream here is for everybody to always remember that there's 3 sides to a story. There's side 1, there's side 2, and there's the truth. And whatever happens in the future, I want everyone to always remember, if you take anything away from this stream, I want it to be that if you hear something happens or you hear something goes down, don't get enraged just because you heard what one person said. Don't get enraged because you heard what one person said. There's always many different angles to a story. There's always things that are cut out of a story, conveniently missing from a story. And because I'm saying that we are going to have a meeting about this, we're going to do our best to make sure this doesn't happen in the future. What I don't want to happen is something, some situation to happen and people to immediately be like, oh, they didn't listen, they don't care, without even giving us the chance to communicate, without even giving us the chance to, respond, give our side to the story. So if there's anything that anyone leaves with, it's openness, it's acceptance, it's or not even acceptance, it's tolerance, ability to hear, both sides of the story. So yeah.
So I think staff should have a meeting, and that dependent on what day, I think it should be announced in the Discord that this is a day that we're going to listen to some of your advice, and just keep it that for those watching, that it has to be reasonable. It has to be within reason of some things, but just that should be a day of when everyone should voice their opinions. Again, regardless of what size, member, staff, YouTuber, 1K, 1 million, doesn't really matter, because again, there's some good stuff with Mineteria. There's the bad stuff, but hopefully that bad stuff can get corrected as much as possible. And I think that's pretty much everything. So thank you, Zach, for clarifying everything and saying that to everyone.
For sure.
All right, well, I'll finish up this stream. You have a fantastic night, mate.
All right. Have a good night.
See ya. All right, so I think that was a better consensus. Wouldn't you agree, Evan?
I agree so myself.
Because, I'll be perfectly honest, I was gonna probably up and leave. But before everyone leaves the stream, I hope that I was able to get most of what people were kind of worried about. And for those watching, I hope that's as much as I could do. If we're going to the whole thing about human, I try to do as much as I possibly can. So I don't know if it was much. I don't know if it was everything. Again, how do I put this? Because at the end of the day, I don't view myself as a big YouTuber, right? I don't view myself with that type of persona. I try to view myself as just like an ordinary guy that's just trying to do what he can. And I was placed in the good position that I was to, make this, and hopefully had to chat with everything. So that's all I am. Like, I don't want to be known as some savior, because I'd feel weird with that. Just think of me as just someone that's just trying to make everyone happy. So just look forward to that. Again, I think that we can all give Mineteria a second chance, and we can voice some opinions so that nothing bad happens. Because again, I'm not one to just cancel stuff. I'm not one to take, like one screenshot and just be like, well, this is ridiculous. And as much as like probably the original of this stream is just to kind of expose a lot of stuff, I'm happier with the sense that we were able to come to an agreement with people. So look for that date, because I'll make sure that Despawn and the staff members, that they live up to that. Because again, one of the reasons why I stream this is that it's a whole about accountability. So now you know that this is their word, and that they should make good on it. Is there anything else I should say? I don't know. I hope I did enough. I'm gonna join. I'll probably join chat room 1 in my Discord for a little bit. If there's anything you guys want to talk about again, I'll give Mineteria a second chance. Because honestly, again, I'd rather have stuff resolved than leave angry. Same thing with anything, like if I've gotten into arguments before, if there's still like people mad at me to this day, I'd rather have that stuff resolved peacefully, because there's no sense of ripping my hair out because of it. So I think this is a better alternative to what we were all expecting. So I think that's everything. If you liked, I know this is probably a bad time to do this, but if you like my commentary stuff, I'd say go check out my second channel. That's where I've gotten a little bit better when it comes to talking and all that, and it's just some fun stuff over there. I hope you all have an amazing evening. Again, I'll leave this stream up. I will change the title of everything, and I'll probably make the thumbnail maybe a little bit better. But in the meantime, I'll be in chat room 1 of the Discord. If you have any questions, just DM me, honestly. Well, I mean, not everyone DM me, but for mutuals or staff members, DM me, and we could probably sort something out. So everyone have a fantastic day. I will go into chat room 1, and everyone have a fantastic evening. Stay safe. Go get some Dorito chips and go drink some milk, I suppose. And Evan, is there anything else you want to say?
No, just everyone have a good night. Also, check DMs.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Everyone, have a fantastic evening. Love you all. No homo, no hetero. Have an amazing day. And I will talk to you